Kafka is officially inducted into the defense force and takes his oath before Mina. But before he leaves, Mina warns him not to count his victory yet. There's still a long way for him to fight alongside her. Kafka smiles and says they will soon fight together side by side. It was Hashina himself who recommended Kafka to be officially inducted, so Mina tells him it's best not to disappoint him. Later, Kafka studies late into the night to improve himself, then decides to leave before Hashina rushes him again. As he exits, he sees the training room light on, and upon checking, he finds Hashina training hard as well. Kafka realizes that those movements are like the ones they had in their fight when Kafka was Kaiju 8. This shakes Kafka, and he ends up falling to the ground. Hashina notices him and realizes he was studying late again. Kafka says the same, and Hashina replies that he's training to face Kaiju number 8 so that next time, he can cut it into pieces with a single blow. Hashina says he held back initially. If he had used the 6th form instead of the 5th, he would have cut it into pieces with its core intact. Kafka is shocked to the core. Both Kaiju number 8 and 9 are too strong for ordinary soldiers. Hashina wants to eliminate them personally. Kafka thanks him and says he'll do his best. Hashina jokes, saying he doesn't know how someone with 1% will do anything, but still, he has faith in Kafka. Meanwhile, a new humanoid kaiju appears. It is close to the Tashikawa base and is preparing to descend. Hashina reflects on the strange sensation emanating from Kaiju 8. It seemed to be a person. And now, Kaiju 9 can disguise itself as one. Meanwhile, Kafka is outside, realizing that he has finally taken the first step and truly joined the defense force. As he heads back inside to sleep again, numerous meteors suddenly rain down on the troop base. The impact is enormous, waking up others and putting Hashina on high alert as he rushes while speaking to the control center. It's reported that dozens of kaijus have emerged within the base from an aerial attack. They all have fortitude exceeding 6. They're all Hojus, and only a whole platoon can defeat each one of them. Hashina dons his special suit and orders all soldiers to be on standby, issuing an emergency alert for those off duty. He instructs them to keep the kaijus contained in the training field for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Kafka watches incredulously as the kaijus, resembling pterodactyls, swarm the base, prompting him to immediately contact Hashina. He mentions that this type of kaiju is proud and usually operates alone, but this time it's different. This means that there's someone superior to them, someone strong and intelligent enough to control them and orchestrate this plan. As Kafka speaks, Hashina comes face to face with the main villain. The new humanoid kaiju asks who the strongest one there is. Captain Mina Ashiro is out, so it ends up being Hashina himself. The kaiju then declares that he will be his prey and attacks with a flick. Hashina narrowly manages to dodge, but the blow is incredibly powerful. In the control center, the enemy's strength is measured at 8.3. He's a daikaiju like Kafka. Hashina devises a containment plan, communicating with the other soldiers. Seizing the opportunity, the kaiju appears right behind him, delivering another crushing blow. But Hashina evades, showcasing his speed. The kaiju thinks it's time to start the massacre and opens its hidden eye, which reacts with the yojus. The kaiju unleashes another devastating blow, only for Hashina to evade once more. Its attacks resemble meteors. One blow and Hashina would be shattered. However, he's skillful and incredibly fast, landing multiple cuts on the enemy, but its resilience is absurd, even greater than Kaiju 8's. On the other side of the base, the troop deals with the yojus, but none of their attacks have any effect. Kafka contacts his team and explains that attacking head-on is futile. The kaijus fly, and the front side is heavily armored. The weak point is the back, where the core is located. The team devises a plan to distract them and attack from behind, but the kaijus are cooperating, making it impossible. That's when Shinomiya appears, suggesting another approach. Attack head-on with all their strength, and so she wields a giant anti-kaiju axe. Earlier, Shinomiya receives the opportunity to have her own weapon, similar to Hashina's blades or Mina's cannon. Only captains are allowed their own weapons, but an exception was made because Kikoru is much stronger than the others, and the kaijus are becoming increasingly powerful. Kikoru's main weapon now is a large axe, just a prototype, but she complains that it doesn't suit her at all. Now the battlefield belongs to her. The kaijuus can no longer do as they please. A large hoju was taken down in Shibuya 2 years ago. The troop took its unique organ and created powerful weapons from it. The first form of this axe unleashes a shockwave from behind as propulsion for a crushing blow. The second form releases a shockwave upon impact. Reno even wonders why it doesn't suit her. The weapon perfectly embodies her aggressive and arrogant personality. Another kaiju attacks from above, but Reni protects Shinomiya. They work together as attacker and support. Meanwhile, Hashina struggles to deal with the main enemy. The kaiju is extremely strong and fast, but it's not just that. It's also enjoying this fight, and normal kaijus shouldn't feel such emotions. Hashina tries to evade the blows, and in one of them, the kaiju hits one of the gates. The captain seems to notice something curious, and the kaiju praises him. No one has ever lasted this long against him. Taking advantage of Hashina's distraction, the kaiju lands a solid hit on him. He crashes into the walls, but one of the kaiju's arms is severed, and it also receives a powerful blow from the captain. Hashina activates the full power of his suit, reaching 92% release. The battle just got even more serious. In the midst of the confrontation against the remaining kaijus, Kafka partially transforms and saves one of the troop members. He's almost hit from behind, but Kakoru saves him with Reno's help. The two of them decide to take care of the kaijus while the others assist the injured. Reno asks Kafka not to be reckless and to trust his team. He's now a member of the troop. 2 squads of veterans who were off-duty appear to help. The squads manage to overcome the kaijus little by little, even without Captain Mina. Meanwhile, Hashina warns the enemy about messing with the 3rd Division. He won't leave there alive. The captain uses his powerful slashes to target the enemy's armor weaknesses. The enemy realizes and tries to fix them. However, these slashes were just a distraction for the real attack. Hashina delivers a massive amount of blows, and the kaiju enjoys the direction of the fight even more. He's finally fighting with everything. Hashina sees that the enemy's core is much larger than he thought. So he unleashes an octuple slash, but instead of falling, the kaiju starts to transform.